Welcome back to the channel. We are recapping rounds 3 and 4 of my recent over the board tournament, also my very first over the board tournament. And in round 3, we started off with the black pieces. My opponent started the game with knight f3. If you guys watch me play online, you know I do not like this move. We go d5 because, you know, we're not really trying to play the King's Indian over the board because I already don't know what I'm doing with it. So we just went d5 and he plays d4. I play knight f3, knight f6, not knight f3, geez. And then we get a London, so bishop to f4. Now I strike the center. If you guys, you probably have seen me go against d4, d5, knight or bishop f4, and then I always play c5. I always just strike the center, ask them what's up. He responds with e3. Now I just play knight c6, bishop to b5, pinning. I block the pin. Probably not necessary. However, we did it. Keep in mind this is the final round of day 1. Which I don't think I mentioned, but in day 1 we were playing 3 games, and then in day 2 we were playing rounds 4 and 5. So this is the final game of day 1. I was very exhausted after playing two games. E6, H3. H3, I'm not really 100% sure what the idea was, but we take in the center. We go CD, and he goes ED. Now I go a6, trying to get rid of the bishop. Probably not necessary, but we do it anyways. And now he takes the knight. We recapture. It's an equal position. He jumps into the center, and I play this not so good move. Bishop to b5. And it wasn't good because he can just play a4. And now the bishop's got to go back. He takes, and we get the structure, which isn't the worst. It kind of feels like a Karo Khan structure after they've traded this off. Castles. I go bishop to d6, trying to trade. We trade. He plays knight to d2, and I castle. So we get this position where I have a semi-open b file, and he has a semi-open e file. So he takes the e file, as one should. I take the b file. He plays queen to c2. And now I bring the other rook, and I'm not 100% sure what the idea was. Probably just to, you know, line them up on these files. This is probably going to be a pawn break that I'm looking to do. And he goes rook to b1. I play c5. Now he goes queen d3, allowing c4. And I have a slight edge here. It's plus 0.5 for black. And I do like my position here. I do. So I go a5. Not the best move, but I figured I can just stop him from pushing ever. I can stop him from building, etc. We get this, and I kind of, in this point, I lose focus a little bit. So I played rook to b7, clear intention of doubling up. So after that, he plays b3, and I get this fancy little idea of, oh, I'm going to pin, but it doesn't do anything. Because after this pawn's protected. And yes, this pawn's pinned to the queen, but he doesn't have to take. And if I take, it's not a big deal. So he's just going to get a pawn. Meanwhile, the rooks are seeing each other also. So I go here, attacking the pawn. But he has this beautiful move, which I had not seen whatsoever, which was rook b5. Props to this guy for finding this move. And some of you guys are going to say, oh, that's such a simple move. I didn't even think of this move. Not at all. And yeah, it cuts everything off, basically. Now, that's just a bad move as well. And I'm gonna say it right now. I'm blaming the fatigue. We played decent up until this point, and then we just gave him 2 pawns for no reason. He plays there. And now I was kind of scared of back rank stuff, so I played king to f8, which just straight up hangs this pawn. And now he's just a clean 2 pawns up. And then I go knight to b6, he plays rook to d6. Now I have to block, trades, and he rotates back. And then we jump in with knight to c4, offering a trade, and he pins himself here. So I find he pins himself, but if I were to just go like this, he can take and take and take. So I lose a rook. So I did find a move. Like if I were to take here, it loses a rook also. So I found this great move, knight to e5. And the point is, he can't take here because the queen hangs. And yeah, I mean, that's the only point. It's probably the only move in the position that doesn't lose. Well, when I say doesn't lose, I'm still losing. So he plays queen d1. I jump in. He trades the rook, and then he protects. And apparently this is a draw. I mean, he's protecting everything very well. I play knight f4, allows that check. Then I have to go all the way back. And this is a very annoying moment because he's attacking the queen and the knight, but he's also x-raying this a8 square, threatening checkmate. So I give a check and he just moves the king, and then I go knight e6. And the reason why I played knight e6 was because now I can defend the check on the square, but he picks up that a5 pawn. The geometry in this game for him and the queen was just perfect. Picks up the pawn, but not only does he pick up the pawn, he protects the knight. It's crazy. Anyways, so we play h6 because we don't know what the hell to do. We're creating a left and we're losing. And yeah, so we go there, and then we were hoping for some kind of perpetual, but of course the knight protects the queen, and we don't want to trade here because this pawn will just go. Anyways, so we get this kind of position and we just run. Okay, my score sheet ran out here. It wasn't because of time or anything. I think I just wrote something down wrong, but essentially he basically at the end of the game, he ran the pawn down. We traded the knights and he promoted and he won the game. Now we've won one game and we've lost two, and it's time to play our fourth game the next morning. We played with the white pieces in this game. So we play e4 and we get a Scandinavian. I felt kind of good when I saw this. And my opponent was actually, he was an older guy, not like super old, but the last over the board tournament he played was in 1999. That's when I was born. So this guy's been playing chess for the entirety that I've been alive, essentially. Not over the board, but like online and such. So his over the board rating was like, I don't know, like 1100 or something. But his chess.com is 1700. So he was a strong opponent and very underrated over the board. So get Scandinavian. He plays this knight f6 line. I go knight f3. He takes. And then I bring the bishop out, or the knight out with tempo. And now we're kind of going into the main line of the Scandi. And of course, he goes here to make room. Because after this, you know, you can get yourself into trouble if you don't have an escape square. So that's exactly what happens. Bishop out. And now we've kind of developed his king's in the center. We bring the rook to e1. And now it looks like he's going to castle kingside. So I get this fancy idea here. When I say fancy, I'm just joking around. It's a plan, but it's not a good one. So I go knight e2. And my idea is that, you know what, we're going to try and win this bishop. Because, you know, typically, if you can trade a knight for a bishop, you should. Now he develops the queen side, and it's not so clear where he's castling. But I continue with the plan. I play knight to g3, and I'm thinking, you know, I'm going to trade. He doesn't want to trade there, so he goes bishop to g6, and I play knight h4. This is so stupid. It's not good because he castles long. Now, had he castled short, this would probably be acceptable, but because he hadn't committed his king yet, I don't even want to take the bishop now. Because if I take this bishop, he gets this. I don't want to have to deal with that for the entire game. Like, if the knight moves, you see the eval. Look, this can just be really bad. We don't want that. Okay, apparently we've turned on the emotes, we will say. Yeah, anyway, so I played rook to c1. The idea behind rook to c1 was that I wanted to protect this square from this bishop. And now he goes there. Okay, can we not? Now he plays rook to d7. Just getting out of any kind of pin here. And now I bring the stupid knight back because the knight's just on the edge of the board. It's not doing anything. Now he goes for bishop to d8. This is a mistake. But the idea is just like all of this, right? Now I slide the bishop back, and he plays queen to d6, just getting out of this pin. But now I push c4, and I'm threatening c5 here. Like, it's not... My position's very good, and I felt very good in this position. I had a lot of pressure, etc. Now he plays c5 himself, stopping me. Now I missed something here. And I played knight to e2, The idea is just pretty clear. We want to rotate. It's very long, and we could have just immediately dropped back. Could have sacked the bishop for the fork, but we didn't. We didn't do that, and so after we bring the knight to e2, he plays bishop to c7, and we continue with that plan. That knight is galloping in. He goes a6, and this is a mistake, apparently, but I have a clear idea. It's just I want to take or come here, one of the two, and I feel like in this position, the reason why he played h5 is because he didn't really know what to do with all this pressure over here. Like there's forks, there's a lot going on. He can't move the knight, or he can. I don't know. I don't even know really anymore, but there was a lot going on over there. And he probably thought, oh, geez, I need to go attack him on the king side. So he played h4, which is a blunder because knight takes c5, which attacks the rook. And this knight's just a monster here. And I drop back because I want this. So now he drops back as well. I attack the queen. Queen has to move. So now the queen's attacking my bishop that is held by the knight. Notice what I just said. The bishop is protected by the knight and only the knight. Bishop takes on d3. I missed a tactical move, removing the defender. But you know what? You know what the crazy thing is here? I have a move that actually saves this. But when he played this move, I hate to say it, but I didn't even realize what was happening. I just figured, oh, he's just trading. Once again, it's a bad mindset of mine, but not thinking about the opponent's moves and such. But I just took that bishop. So I just took, just allows this. However, in this position, I actually have bishop e7 attacking these and attacking this. So the point is, like, he goes here, I can just take, and then take, and then take, and I'm fine. Now, I don't know if that's the most accurate. He probably moves this or something. I don't know what the top computer move is, but probably just getting this out of the way. Or is it allowing that? Taking's bad, but I don't really know why. We'll look at that maybe after. So I was very, very flustered. You know how sometimes you blunder and then you immediately just kind of give up? You're like, ugh. Yeah, that kind of happened to me. Because after he took, I immediately just blundered again. Because my whole idea was kind of just to go here. But I played knight to e5. And I kind of forgot that the bishop was looking there. It was very frustrating. But, I actually just took and gave that up. And in this position, you can't take because the queen is here. So I play c5. He takes. I go queen to c2. And he plays rook d2. And I resign. I resigned because I was very upset with myself. Very disappointed. And yeah, I kind of gave up on myself and didn't. It really sucked. Blundering over the board like that felt very embarrassing. Very, very. And I felt like I had a crushing position, and then I just blundered that one tactic, but didn't really notice the tactic. And maybe I would have found that bishop to e7 move had I really saw the tactic and then thought about it. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. And now we are 1 win and 3 losses in our very first tournament. Not really my best. Very thankful that I did get a win. Now, let's take a look at this line here. So after this, it doesn't even want me to take or anything. It just wants this. Attack the queen. Queen comes in. And then you take. And then attack. Really? Give up the queen? Or give up the bishop? And then take? It's kind of weird. But it just goes to show, if you can notice what the opponent is doing, you'll be able to maybe save the game like this. Because had I noticed that, where is it? Had I noticed that after he takes here, I don't recapture because of this, and I can threaten something else, maybe I could have still won this game. However, that wasn't the case. And now we have 1 round left, and you'll have to wait for the next video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you there.